This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
My name is Brandon Depenbusch, and I'm very appreciative of being at the CattleU today to talk about CattleTrace and traceability in the U.S. You know, there's a couple issues that I really want to drive home to your listeners that are seeing this. Is one, that the importance, in my opinion, of traceability, the need for traceability in the U.S. You know, there's not many guarantees that we have in life, but I think one guarantee that we'd have in life would be traceability after a foot and mouth disease outbreak. And people say, well, we haven't had foot and mouth in the U.S. since 1929. But the reality is that every year 38 million people get on a plane in another land and come and land in this country each year. And it's not unreasonable to expect that some of them could accidentally bring in a virus that could be very contagious, such as foot and mouth disease, to our cattle. Well, don't have to look very far to see the African swine fever, what wreck it's having on the other side of the ocean. So when people say that we don't need it, I'm going to challenge that because I think there's an accidental cause that could come in. But also, it wasn't too many years ago that we had people flying planes into buildings. We would never conceive that. So there are people out there that want to do us wrong. The guarantee is that if we have foot and mouth disease, we will have a traceability system in our country. This is an opportunity for us as producers to come together with CattleTrace. CattleTrace is a producer-driven initiative to create a disease traceability system in the U.S. And we can either do that, we can either have the producers build it, because we know our industry as good as anybody, or we can be reactionary like every other beef exporting country in the world. We are the only one of two countries in the world that export beef that don't have traceability, us and India. And in pretty much in all cases, all those other countries that have a disease traceability, they were reactionary. They had to respond to a disease outbreak. So what that meant is the government, I'm not anti-government by any stretch, but people that maybe don't know our business as well as I did, they had to build a disease traceability system for us. So CattleTrace, again, is an initiative for producers to be able to build that traceability system. We have a producer board of directors that will determine the who, when, and how that data is accessed. And when I talk about data, every time an animal is sighted, whether it be in a sale barn or a feed yard or a packer, we're going to collect 4 pieces of information. We're going to collect the date, the time, the official ID, and the GPS location of that animal. We think with those 4 minimal pieces of data point that animal health commissioners can successfully run a disease trace back and quickly identify animals that are diseased and, more importantly, other animals that may be at risk. And we could quickly ascertain and quarantine those animals that may be at risk with the end goal of minimizing the spread of the disease. Now, the final thing I'd like to maybe leave with the audience would be is that we're focused 100% on disease traceability. And you can be critical of our very, very narrowly focused effort. But what our hope is with CattleTrace, we can build an interstate system, a highway system, or an internet, whatever analogy you want to use. We want to build that infrastructure with the sole purpose of disease traceability. We really want to have other people come along and add the value add opportunities, build upon that interstate. So go to exit 302 or 202 or whatever and add their database there that could be used to share information up and down the supply chain. So whether that be vaccination, birth dates, antibiotic use, whatever that information, to be able to have that side, that value add side, to be able to pull that information through. So it was a great talk today, had a great audience, really great questions, and that's what I like most about it, is to be able to interact with the audience and be able to address their questions. But I'm very happy with our group, that we have a very palatable message for producers, that when they hear it, they're not scared away from it. They certainly have questions, and I'm all about questions, but it's a palatable message. So if anybody has any more interest, want to come learn more about it, CattleTrace.org. So CattleTrace.org would be a good place to go to get some additional information. And if you share the vision that we do for the need of traceability in this country, we'd love to be able to work with you and see if we could partner with you in some way.